To North Carolina. To my left is Kristen. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great.
Awesome.
So happy we're having warm weather. Everyone's got spring fever.
Well, I tell you, it was not easy for me to leave Florida, but we finally did it. And I'm so happy that it's finally warming up. I guess you guys have been getting a lot of rain here. And I definitely want to appreciate that you came down last week when we did last week's show, got to hijack your Wi-Fi. I hope you enjoyed the warm weather while it lasted down there. So anyways, again, thank you for joining us. And we're just going to let the visitors, followers, subscribers, viewers, they're going to start coming in. Again, we are live right now, Friday afternoon. My name is Matt, and to my left, or is it to my right? I can't remember which one you are. Technically, it doesn't really matter, is Kristen. And we're going to start off, as we have now traditionally, is bring in Makenzie. Are we ready for Mackenzie's top 3 questions of the week? Yes, we're ready, Matt. Yeah, we are. Okay, here we go. Let me click on this button. And, well, we got Ingrid in the green room, so I screwed that up already. So let me... how the hell did I do this? Well, hi, Ingrid. How are you? She's like, what? Okay, can't really hear you, but that's okay because you got. Notice where Ingrid's microphone is. These are all the fun things we got to get through. Oh yeah, we're all the way up there, Matt. Now there is a major announcement.
Oh,
Yeah, someone got an iPhone.
yeah, who's that? Who would get that?
All right, well, we got the screens all messed up, so I'm going to try to get Ingrid out of here. Ingrid, I may have to just get rid of you like this for right now. You may have to log back in. And Kristen, why are you down there? All right, I'm actually gonna hide you for a second. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine.
Please do. I mean, I feel a little weird. You're in front of me. Anyways, all right. So, sorry about that, guys. Makenzie, how you doing today? Happy Friday.
Good. Good. That's good for a laugh, for sure.
All right, guys, everyone out there, if you guys can please do a quick audio check for our listeners, followers out there. Please let me know and make sure you can hear us okay. And I noticed my fade on not my haircut. I am due for a haircut is a little off. There we go. See that? Wow. It's like magic. All right, Makenzie. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Top 3 questions from this week. Go right ahead.
I actually just got off the phone a little bit ago. What's happening behind me? Sorry. It's lunchtime. So I took a call from a lady who is moving to Florida, and she brought up a great question, which was, how do I prevent black snakes, and what do I do if I have them?
I don't have that much time to answer that question right now. How do we prevent black snakes? Ingrid, if you're still listening right now, please make sure you make a note that we need to do what I've been dying for. We need to do, how do we deal with pests around the chicken coop? An entire show on that. How to prevent black snakes. All right, so I'm going to go at it real quick. And I want everyone to know, one, I have 15 years as an exterminator. I was that nerdy bug guy, so I love talking about pests. And since I was a child, I've had reptiles. My father's probably just shaking his head right now going, oh, God, did he? My dad didn't talk to me for a week one time. I brought home an iguana. And then I had to go to work, and the guys that worked for him were like, will you stop pissing your father off? Anyways, so I have a lot of experience with snakes, raising them, breeding them, and keeping them. So when it comes to the chicken coop, here's what you got to remember. And this goes right into why we do one of the things we do with our chicken coops, and that is all the hardware cloth is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch opening. And you want to make sure that when a snake is coming to your chicken coop, they're not going after your chickens, they're going after your eggs. And what you need to know about snakes is they can only eat 1.5 times the size of the thickest part of their body. Okay, and I know definitely in the Southeast, black snakes are everywhere. They're very notorious. There's a lot of snake pressure. So if they are big enough to eat your eggs, then they're a problem. But they are too big to fit into an opening like 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. So with that said, I would have to say for your average egg sizes, when you're building a chicken coop, don't have an opening any bigger than 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. That's really the rule of thumb. And if the smaller juvenile snakes can get in, that's free chicken food. Here's where I always, especially when I'm doing videos, I'm like, Ingrid, cue the video. She got a great video recently of one of the chickens, they're chasing around a baby snake. I know that might sound cruel. Trust me, it is what it is. That is nature at its best. And Ingrid's mentioned down in the comments, some snakes are good. That is very true. And the black snakes are good. But here's the most important thing, and this is snakes in general. Don't give them an area to live. And that's really pests in general, but especially snakes. And we can talk about that hopefully in another show. All right, what else you got?
I have another pest question, actually. How do I keep termites from destroying my coop?
I don't have time for these questions right now. I need way more time.
I'm sorry.
No, great question, especially when it comes to termites, because here it is in a nutshell, and I just don't have time to explain it, but here's another advantage of our chicken coops is all the framing, all the wood that termites eat, and it's from them eating that causes the destruction, all the wood is exposed, okay? Here's what happens with termites in a home. They are actually, most of them, okay, I'm not referring to drywood termites right now. If I have any termite experts out there listening, I'm referring to the most common, subterranean termites. They live down in the soil, and they have no eyes, okay? They're in the dark, and they're actually very soft-bodied. So they have to protect themselves when they are coming into the building structure. So they have to build those mud tubes, and that's their highway, if you will, to get to the wood. Here's what happens in homes, especially in the South, because there's no basements or crawl spaces. They can hide really well their activity, and then they go inside the walls. And on the outside of your walls, your drywall and your paint, so you don't see it happening. When it comes to termites on your chicken coop, if you weren't paying attention, they could eventually, it's wood, it's their food source, but always keep an eye out for those mud tubes, and you will see them way sooner. You'll see them quick enough that you will prevent any damage from happening. So hopefully that makes sense in a nutshell.
Better than I answered, that's for sure. Which brings me to my last question. Does my roofing color make a difference? And that's a question we get all the time. All the time.
Yeah, it makes a difference if you like it or not. So here, I know what they're getting at. You look at the logo behind us, actually the coop in general, white coop and black roof, black hardware. Here's the thing about our chicken coops. Number one, size is so important when it comes to chicken coops. And there's many reasons why size is so important. And when we're talking about the roofing color, because we use all metal roofing, it reflects the heat really well. We call it TSR, total solar reflectance. And it's all about keeping your hens cool. But because our coops are so big, have tons of ventilation, you have what I call room for error. And you can absolutely get away with, I don't care where you are really on this planet, with, and you could say worst case scenario, a black roof, which is known to absorb the heat out in full sun and hot climates, because our coops with tons of ventilation, it doesn't trap the heat, doesn't continue to build up like you'll see with other structures. But because it is metal, it's going to be warm to the touch, but you would not believe the difference because it is reflecting most of it back into the atmosphere, back into the sky, versus asphalt shingles, for example. So when I tell people, please get the color you want, it's just like buying a car. You might have found your favorite sports car and you wanted it red, but it's only coming in black. It might drive the same, feel the same, but the color of that roofing is so very important in my opinion. So don't skimp on that. Pick what you love.
What is it, and I should know this after being here for 2 years, but is it total solar reflectance, TSR, that you talk about in some other videos?
Yep, total solar reflectance is the general term given to when it comes to metal and metal roofing, reflecting it back into the sky. It's amazing when you really get into those numbers how effective it is. All right, so now, Makenzie, I'm going to ask you to do something real quick. What's that? Uh-oh, am I losing her?
Okay. Nope.
Come back to me. You with me? You with me? Check. Are you on your phone right now?
Yeah, it's my phone.
All right, do me a favor. Go grab, I hope it's over on the table, go grab the box with the rope wrap roost bar. I want to show everyone what we've been working on behind the scenes a little bit. Is it there? See, I threw her a curveball, and I do that intentionally. I always love to see how people respond. I wanted to show everyone out there how awesome some things that we're working on, and we are working a lot on our artwork and packaging so that we can... Oh, we're losing Makenzie. What's going on? Is it not there?
Christy stole it. It's out in the shop.
Okay, never mind then. I just wanted to show everyone it's amazing how much work goes into having the perfect packaging. And Makenzie just showed me a picture of the roost bar wrapped inside the box, and then pretty soon all the art's going to be printed on the box. It's going to look really, really sharp, and that is going to help us get to the next level, getting a lot of our accessories in box stores, Amazon, all those places. So, all right, Makenzie, well, thank you so much. Great job as always, and we look forward to speaking to you next week.
All right, I will be here. Thanks for having me, Matt. See you guys.
See ya. All right, so I'm going to bounce back to our main screen. I'm going to bring Kristen back in here. I unfortunately Hey, Kristen, how you doing? Unmute yourself. I think you're still muted. All right,
Yep,
check, 1,
I
2.
just
There
didn't
you
wanna
are.
talk over her.
All right, so guys, today, as promised, it is peak chick season, as Kristen told me this morning, and I did a video earlier this week where I wanted to show people a little bit about our website because I'm very proud of our website. I love it. I know we get a lot of compliments, but what we forget, because we're in front of it all the time, we talk about Coops all the time, it can be a little bit overwhelming, and so I tried to explain how to figure out what coop is best for you. And as soon as I jumped into that video, it dawned on me, I was like, before the coop, we got to talk about something more important, and that is how many chickens and what kind. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Right, Kristen?
That's right.
Awesome. And this is definitely one of my favorite subjects. I know it's definitely Kristen's. So what I want to do, we're going to go right over to here. We're going to share the screen. I'm going to shrink right there. We're going to shrink Kristen down a little bit. I promise you she's really not that small. Does that look right? Can you see it, Kristen? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
All
Yeah, that's
right,
great.
guys. So what I wanted to do is I'm gonna pick Kristen's brain because she explains things way better than I do. So here we are, we're over at carolinacoops.com. So before we come here to pick out a chicken coop, we must figure out how many chickens to get. So Kristen, and I've heard you say this so many times, it's really the first thing we always talk about with people is how many chickens. So if I was to ask you, I'm new to getting chickens, how many should I get? What would you tell us?
Well, for a family, a backyard flock, I like to start with 6.
Okay, so when you say family, let's look at a nice chicken butt right here. We're over on our Instagram. If you guys are not following us on Instagram, please go do so. We're so close to that 10,000 mark. So an average family, you said a family of 4?
Oh, I didn't say, but
I know you didn't.
just generally speaking, if you want backyard chickens to produce eggs for you or your family, I would say like 4 to 8 for an average size family, and that's why I chose 6 and then the number that leaves you room to grow.
So
Gives you plenty of eggs that first year, the second year, and then room to grow.
absolutely. So those are the key things I know we need to hit on is, we can pick a number, but I want to talk about why that number. So, and I would have to say most of our customers, they're getting hens for the backyard. We're not talking about factory farming. We're not talking about even an organic farm on a homestead to sell eggs. We're talking about the most common situation for our coops in the backyard. And I agree. I think 6 is a great number. Now, I'm going to follow up then. So why? Let's pick on number 6 because that is probably the most common people do end up getting. Why are we going to start with 6 chickens?
And that number is padded just a little. And not because of chicken math, but because when you're buying chicks or you're getting chickens, something may happen. You may end up with a rooster. You may have an unfortunate death. You might lose one to a predator, an accident, maybe a neighbor's dog comes and you don't realize it. Maybe it's your own family dog. Yeah, things do happen. And I want to go into how many, all the different ways you can accidentally lose a chicken, but
it is very true. It can
that's
definitely happen. So now let me ask you then. So
Yeah,
let's say we're going to start with 6 chickens. How many eggs is that going to give me?
What a lot of people in the beginning don't realize is eggs are seasonal, and it varies during the year. Spring is the peak season. Sometimes we see a slight decline in the summer if they're stressed from heat. Depending on when they were born, they may lay through their first winter. And and again, it's not the cold weather winter, it's the length of the day that determine that break that they take to molt in the winter.
Right. So that reminds me of a question we get a lot is, when is the best time to get chickens? Baby chicks in this case.
Right now.
Right now. Right now. Go out and get them.
Right now. This really just hit me yesterday. I'm a little late. I've been saying chick season's coming, but I haven't started up my incubator yet. I haven't even tempted myself by going to the farm store where they have baby chicks. But I'm starting to hear my friends say, "Oh, I got chicks." I'm starting to see them on like Instagram, and yeah,
All right.
I'm having a really hard time sitting here right now, not running out to the store to get chicks. And
right.
I don't need any more chickens.
Right. So, it is chick season. And I often hear you say to people, this is just when nature intended it. And it just makes sense. It's starting to get warm out. This is when you have the chance for reproduction or you have the chance for survival of the babies to happen. It's warmer. All the other food sources are becoming more and more abundant. And I also wanted to
they have enough. Yeah, sorry. They have enough time to, if they're hatched now, they have enough time to fully develop before the days start getting shorter. And then food consumption, their growth rate also slows as the days start getting shorter. They don't have as much daylight to grow effectively.
Right.
If they were hatched later.
So to that point, and I've seen you do this a million times, doesn't mean if you get baby chicks in the fall that it's a no-no, right?
It's just because you're going against nature, it's not ideal, but it's fine.
Yeah, you do it all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen you manipulate it, right? I mean, you make it very, very, very successful, especially with the brooder. Okay, so it's chick season. We're going to say, okay, 6 chickens. Now, we often hear chicken math. Can you tell us, what is your definition of chicken math?
Well, it's something that you can't help. It's your intent, your good intentions to have, let's say, 6 chickens, and you go to the farm store in the spring and you see some more that you might like, or you go have a friend, or you see one online. Oh, and I have to have that breed. Or maybe someone drops off a chicken in the middle of the night in your chicken coop in a misunderstanding. That you thought you said you wanted a chicken, and someone said, "Oh, well, I'll give you one." Just whatever. It's just you just love the chicken so much that you want more.
Absolutely. So chicken math, everyone. If you're brand new and getting chickens, you're thinking about getting chickens, or whatever. Leave room when we get into talking about the coop construction. Leave room to grow your flock because of chicken math. What would be the second reason to think about when we're constructing our coop, buying a chicken coop? Our most common size that we need to think about is our 4x6 hen house, and there's 2 6-foot roost bars. So with the 1 foot rule, you can easily fit 12 hens in there. But I always tell people not to max it out. What would be one of the number one reasons not to max it out, knowing that we're going to grow our flock? You got chicken math. What would be another reason that you may have to add chickens down the road?
Well, I like to stagger their egg production. So every year I'll get a few chicks for my permanent flock. So I'll have eggs through the winter because I don't use a light in the coop. But that's one big reason is you're going to have your first flock age out at a certain point, and their egg production is going to decline. And we get addicted. We grow to appreciate these backyard eggs. They are so different than what you buy in the store. And they're such a gift that, when they stop laying as much, you really do miss the eggs. So having enough room to grow not only the breeds that you want, but to have that staggered egg production, I think is important.
Absolutely. And this is just reminding me, there is so much to talk about. So another question with adding chickens. I promise you, we're going to get into the breeds and all the certain things, but these are just things I want to plant the seeds of things to think about before we get into talking about breeds. And one of my favorite things that I know you've taught me is, and I've seen you do it over and over, and we have so many customers that do it now, but we all heard the horror stories. Okay, all right, so I'm going to leave room in my hen house to grow my flock, but I've heard because of the pecking order, you bring in more hens that they're going to fight. And I've heard you talk about, and I'd love for you to kind of dive into that. What is the best way to make sure you can introduce new hens into your existing flock with no problems?
Well, my favorite way is to use a broody hen. The short answer is to have plenty of room. I've noticed that when I free range, introducing new chickens is pretty easy. I mean, they have so much room. I've got acreage, so they really don't have any issues whatsoever. But my favorite way is to use a broody hen. When I have a hen go broody, I mean, I am just hoping that I get a broody hen earlier than later right now, because that means that I don't have to raise these chickens inside. The broody hen raises your baby chicks, and they inherit her place in the pecking order, and she protects them with her life. I've seen mother hens fight off a fox before, or a dog. It is just really amazing, their protective nature. So the best way to add chicks, I believe, is the broody hen.
Right. So real quick, here's where we got to remember, so many people are brand new to this. I know a lot of people are going, well, what does broody mean?
It's the hormonal state. It's the mothering state where they want to have babies. So they'll start sitting on their eggs or stealing eggs from the adjacent nest or a golf ball or a rock. I mean, they can go pretty crazy. And this is where I will say that having certain breeds that go broody can be a very good thing in your flocks. So you've heard me say many times, if you're going to get 6 chickens, throw in at least one broody breed.
Absolutely.
1 to 2. I wouldn't do more than 2 because they do.
So let's talk about broody breed, because here's another thing I never knew until I heard you talking about this, that they're actually trying to breed out the broodiness in standard hens, right?
That's right. And the reason why is a broody hen takes her maternity leave. She stops laying eggs in order to hatch them. So even if you don't want her to hatch eggs, she's still on maternity leave. And they stop laying eggs for the amount of time that it takes to hatch eggs, which is 3 weeks, and about 7 weeks to raise the chicks to the age in which they're able to survive on their own.
And
so
of course, and then it's comical watching.
Actually,
go ahead.
It's longer than what we get in the United States, actually.
Well, I've always seen where it's very comical when those teenagers are trying to, they're sticking around mama hen. She's like, okay, get away from me. It's time to go. All right. Yeah. So, and I would love to, get into more details on another show, but I just want to make sure people understand, 6 is a great number, but what it comes down to is how many eggs do you realistically want to start off with? And then it could also, in the reverse engineering of this, is what size coop you might be able to build yourself, afford, or have room for. Leave room to grow your flock. So very important. And I also want to, I love this too. Again, going back to the whole broody thing, I never thought this was possible. I've seen where you will take, the mama hen is sitting on fake, eggs that are not fertile, and you just start counting it down, and you somehow, you can't force the hen to go broody, but you got to time it right, where then you have day-old baby chicks. You go out there at night, and day 21, day 22, you go and remove the non-fertile eggs underneath her, maybe leave a couple, so she thinks some are going to hatch, and then you put the babies underneath her, and she thinks they hatch. But I've even seen you do it with a mama hen with a baby turkey and a baby duck. Same exact thing, right?
Right.
So it's just that easy. It's just that easy, guys. So we'll talk more about that. But let's get right into the things that I know a lot of people are wondering. What breed should I get? Now, I want a quick disclaimer. You and I are not getting paid to. I'm going to plug, I guess, if you will. I want to talk about our experiences in general. None of this is rehearsed. I don't know if you guys realize. Again, we're live right now, and we're just talking like normal chicken people. And I want to jump right into probably the most popular company to get baby chicks. So the first thing I want everyone to know is you can actually order baby chicks through the mail. Or you can go, especially right now, to your local agricultural store, and all you're going to hear is chirping as soon as you walk into that door, and you can pick out different baby chicks. So I wanted to mention two hatcheries that I like a lot, and there's other ones like Ideal, and I feel bad if I'm forgetting some. I've never had a bad experience with a hatchery. I can just tell you that Murray McMurray has been a great place. And talking about the hatcheries, we're probably a little bit behind schedule because, believe it or not, they sell out so fast where you might still be able to put in an order. I haven't looked in a long time to see. Oh, look at there's one of my favorites right there, the French Black Coppermaran. So just a great place to shop for baby chicks, great customer service. And then I gotta give a shout out that I love Whelp Hatchery, and the reason I love them, also great customer service. Let me see if I can bring them up. Let's do a quick little, okay, what kind of chicks are we going to get? Layer type, all right, because we're talking about hens that are going to lay eggs. We might touch on meat birds today. Apparently, Nan was telling me today we're getting so many questions about meat birds. Click on common breeds. I can tell you my number one favorite breed, and I try to stick to it. I know this is always my go-to, but every now I'm like, oh, my French Coppermaran. I do love the French Coppermaran as well. I can tell you.
Well, you have that French last name. So.
Yeah, I might be a little biased.
Yeah.
I can tell you I have ordered, I don't know how many silver lace cochins from Whelp. And I believe.
That.
What's that?
Those were so beautiful that year we ordered from them.
Yeah, where we got like 1,000. Yeah, and I ordered them a couple times more, and here's the thing. Yes, they're beautiful, and if you're not familiar with what cochins are, they're booted, meaning they have feathers on their feet. And I've never seen chickens as booted as they were. I mean, they look like snowshoes on these silver lace cochins. I've never seen that developed in other silver lace cochins from any other hatchery other than Whelp. So anyways, guys, if you are thinking about getting baby chicks, this is just one great option. But again, right now you probably could go on and order some, but you might be waiting. The best time to order baby chicks. Go ahead.
Does it have somewhere on there for availability? What's available now?
I was gonna dive into that, and I didn't want to look really dumb, but let's pretend. Pretend. Okay, we're gonna go all baby chicks, and the Black Coppermaran is one.
I did want to say that one of the big, when you say what breeds should I pick, if you're thinking about this today, really you're just going to go with availability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really could determine what breeds. And I say availability and variety is important. And from there, you almost can't go wrong. I mean, there are so many breeds to choose from, and I wouldn't put too much weight on the write-up that they have about which ones are noisy or friendly, or I mean, just generally speaking, there are some nuances there, but
well, okay, so let's jump right into that, because that's a question we get a lot. Do we have to get all the same breed? Or what breed should I get? And the one thing I wanted to mention that I do like about Murray McMurray is I'm assuming they still do it. Their free, it's right here. Their free catalog is great reading material. But you will see in there that they give that generalization to that breed. I mean, Kristen, I hope you agree with me that it's a lot like getting a dog. You know, you can kind of get a gist of maybe the general personality, but a lot of it's going to have how you raise them. Taking time with them they're gonna come to you more. You know, they will learn that you are what provides the food source. So, you know, let's talk a little bit more in depth. You know, let's scroll through some of these breeds here, and you know, the other thing that you will guarantee with chicken math, at least I know this is what happened to me, is I did love starting off with just beautiful hens, doing a variety, get a one or two of each. But then my next favorite thing that happened was, you know, it's like that fruit basket. The different colored eggs are incredible. So that's another thing to check out. And there are some breeds that I have gotten in the past only because of the egg. Not that they're very, I mean, okay, here's where, I forgot about this. Here where Kristen and I disagree. Kristen, what is your favorite chicken?
I can't believe you asked me once recently to rank my top 100 favorite breeds.
No, it wasn't 100. I wouldn't torture you that much. It was top 25.
I think it was. Oh, okay, it wasn't. Okay, sorry. I'm still working on it. But if I were to choose one breed, and I could only have one breed, it's not necessarily my favorite, but it would be the Easter Egger Americana. I mean, that's Easter Egger or Americana. It really has two different names.
It really does. It really does. You know, and I always do tell people, get at least one Americana. Let's see if we can go in here and do a search real quick. And why would you like Americanas?
There's several reasons. They come in different colors. You can actually have 3 Americanas and they look completely different. The egg color, of course, is number one. And I think they have a really friendly appearance because they don't have the large red comb. And some people associate that large red comb with a mean rooster. So it just, and they're bearded. That also makes them look like they have a fat, fluffy face. I also like their dark legs. I just think they're lovely. I mean, to have what are you talking
These are all
about?
the things
why are you laughing at me?
These are the things that gross me out.
What? You don't like a fluffy face?
Oh no, I like fluffy feet, fluffy butts, fluffy bodies. But yeah, the tufts are around their ears. You know, that's a great sign. You know, you got an Americana. They drive me nuts. Salmon Falvaros drive me crazy. But here's the thing. Get what, you know, that's the beauty of chickens. There's so many different breeds. You get to pick out your favorites. And then the dark legs, I don't know. They just...
Oh, I love those. They come in like steel gray and olive, and they're just so cool.
Right. Now, here's the best part about Americanas, or I love the olive eggers, is the colored eggs are incredible. And I love that 70s avocado green color. Those eggs are beautiful. We'll see if we can bring them up. So if you're picking out chickens, yeah, I would agree. It's always good to have at least 1 or 2 Americanas for that egg bowl display on your dining room table. Yeah. So
if we could, let me just give you an example. If I were going to set somebody up with chickens, you know, I had a friend Lindsay contacted me yesterday and said, I'm getting back in chickens. What do I do? And I quickly went to every farm store I know or chicken dealer in the area, got their list of availability, and we picked out the starter flock. And this is the starter flock that I would recommend to people. I would pick out like one good egg layer, like a Rhode Island Red or a sex link. And those sex links, they have a lot of different names. And then I would pick out an Easter egger or an olive egger for that egg color. I would pick out one that's just fun. I mean, that's just a freebie, like a Polish or a Frizzle, something that's fun because she does have kids, and it's just fun. And then a broody breed, like a Cochin or a Bantam, and then maybe one for feather color. Like if you really like the Wyandottes or the Orpingtons or just the barred feather pattern, just anything that really just looks good to you. So
Right. So
that's what I would do to start out with.
I definitely want people to understand that, especially with cochins, there are so many different colors for cochins. And it's like, a lot of us are very familiar with, Labradors. You got your chocolate lab, golden lab, black lab. Same thing with your cochins. Your blue cochin, this is the Bantam, but just look at that. I mean, it is
I
gorgeous.
know. Those were at the Pittsburgh Farm Store today.
Shout out to the Pittsburgh Farm Store. Love that store. Great lady out there.
Save me one.
Look at, and then another one of my favorites, just absolutely gorgeous, the blue laced red Wyandotte. I mean, they are just beautiful, beautiful chickens. But again, I want people to take away from this is get what you like, what you want to look at. And I think Kristen makes a good point. I think most chickens lay really well as long as you got the right setup. But yeah, there are breeds just designed to pump out eggs.
Right.
Your sex links, your Rhode Islands, your Comets, which are probably the same as a sex link. Now,
Yeah.
And then of course you got your go-tos. People are like, well, what's a good chicken for beginners? And I want to honestly tell people, for the most part, you can get away with most breeds as beginners. There are a couple. I find it easier. There's a couple. Oh, look at, they got a category just for feather-footed. Oh my goodness. Wow, go Murray McMurray.
More of those.
Huh?
I need some more of those.
Anyways, oh, you know what? I do want to do a search for one more. I forgot about one. We have had some customers get some. There is another breed that is rare. I absolutely love it. But anyways, so what breeds of hens would you say to stay away from and why? I know this is a tough question for you. It's easy for me. Maybe I should answer it.
I know. I mean, Leghorns can be flighty and less friendly. They are bred for egg production because they have a slender body. They take less feed to produce eggs, but they're just not the dual purpose friendly backyard breed. And there are exceptions. There's always exceptions. Chickens break rules all the time. I once had a brown leghorn that was pretty friendly. Her name was Maverna.
Absolutely. I mean, people say all the time, oh, Rhode Island Reds are so friendly. Some of my meanest were Rhode Island Reds. They're a lot like people. So she's not going to say it. I'll just say it because here's again. It's so funny how her and I
the Lakenvelder.
Lakenvelders. I'm glad we agree on that. My God. You want to talk about
that could have been a bad batch.
No, I'm telling you, there's something about Lakenvelders. If you guys have Lakenvelders out there and you disagree, please tell us because I want to know. We had an experience with Lakenvelders, and you would swore they'd never seen a human in their life. You talk about flighty.
Whew.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like you thought when you walked into that run, they just started freaking out that they were going to break their necks flying into the screen, and that is not normal. And it literally broke our hearts to tell the customer who was so proud of these Lakenvelders, they were just not a good fit in this situation. So okay, right here.
That brings you to another good point, and that is a lot of these chickens. You read what their personality is going to be, but more important than that is how you raise them or the time you spend with them, or if you have 50 chickens and you get another 2 chickens, you're not going to have that level of intimacy with that chicken. That chicken's not going to recognize you. You just can't spend as much time with those chickens. Whereas if you only have a flock of 6, those chickens are going to know you, and if you hand raise them as chicks, they're going to be really pet friendly.
Yeah, they they really are. So I wanted to mention, so right there is the Silver Lace Cochin. I just love this breed. I do find myself as a very gray person, as Nan would say. I love black and white. I'm just not a very black and white person, apparently. But, I mean, here's just some great breeds. So you got your Silver Lace Cochin, and you got your Silver Lace Wyandotte. And I'm not a huge fan of Bantams. I know you absolutely love them, and I know they serve a purpose, but I've seen you have several Bantams like the Seabright. Just, they are beautiful. And when they're strutting their stuff, oh my gosh, it is so funny, especially if the bantam happens to take in charge of the pecking order. There's one.
We need to get Ingrid on here.
Oh, well, it is 12:40. We believe it or not, it's already 40 minutes in, and I feel like we haven't even really gotten into it. Like, we're not really answering the questions. We're just getting so amused by the different chickens. So in general, guys, don't get hung up on the different breeds. Get what you like. What I can say is I warn people when it comes to silkies, and I can't stand them because they are so difficult to keep. And quite honestly, if you're going to get silkies, only get silkies. I don't know, Kristen, if you disagree with me, but
I disagree.
You're nuts.
I disagree. I mean, we have in North Carolina, we have a moderate climate. Silkies have been absolutely fine, and I've had 2 different experiences with silkies. One was a show silkie, which had no brains. I mean, absolutely wonderful head fluff, but no brain in there. But my hatchery silkies have had very good chicken instincts, and they went up the ladder, they roosted with their sisters, they foraged, they were just absolutely normal chickens. So that's my experience.
Silkies are a pain in the butt, and I feel bad picking on them. I know I have customers that they love their silkies, and I don't mean to upset them, but here's the thing. Silkies they just don't have those instincts that you expect in chickens so that things go smoothly. Their wings are pointless because they really have no flight feathers, so they don't hop up on the roost bar. So I always think of that meme. I wish I could bring it up right now.
They can.
Anyways, quick shout out.
If all their sisters are, if there's one silky in a flock, they're gonna tag along and do what their sisters do.
I don't know. All right, I don't want to confuse people. I can just tell you, silkies are difficult. They are very difficult. And after that, the Polish, and I love the Polish because they got that big top hat and they're just absolutely beautiful. But those ones, I've seen them run into a tree and then sit down and wait for the tree to move. All right. I also want to kind of give a quick shout out. Again, we're not getting paid to do this. I just want to share some experience. I don't remember, years ago, someone brought to my attention Green Fire Farms. And I really want to go visit them. And now I wish I would have all that time that we spent in Florida. They're going to be very expensive. But they pride themselves on just a true bloodline, whatever that means. And they were really known for a breed that I absolutely love, and they're becoming more and more popular. And I want to make sure I say it right. It's the Samanis, right? Mm-hmm. Am I saying it right? The all-black hen. Like the bones are black, the meat is black. Look, they got so many breeds right now that you'll never see really anywhere else. And I just wanted to bring this also to everyone's attention. But the Samani Lavender Wyandotte, beautiful. Oh my God, they got so many breeds right now. So, and Samani began with a C. Is it, what was, I really want to show.
It starts with an A. It's Amen Samani. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I always go Samani. It's just easier to say that. But we definitely would have seen them.
There are a lot more breeders offering that now, and backyard enthusiasts. So the price has come down on those quite a bit. Oh yeah, I even have a couple.
Yeah, when I say expensive from Green Fire Farms, and I'm not taking anything away from them. I mean, God, people are going to tell us, Matt, look how expensive you are. You pay for what you get, but you can get really perfect baby chicks for $3-4. I know that price is going up, but these ones were anywhere from $100 to $400, and
you're going to like this, but I would rather spend my money on a good coop and get regular chickens.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. I agree, but just wanted to kind of get both ends of the spectrum. Just a great hatchery. I do want to go visit him because they're very unique. I want to say like us, we're very unique. We really stay true to our beliefs and things. And I haven't been on their website in a while, but definitely worth checking them out. So, all right, we're at 12:44 already. I can't believe this, and I want to dive right into YouTube Chicken Police coming up here. I think Ingrid's in the green room, and I have not checked any of the questions, comments. Kristen, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like we could continue on with this conversation, especially answering some questions. Let's just see how it goes. I know you're making sure I stay within an hour, so that we have more stuff to talk about next week. But God, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. And I wanted to get into, okay, so let's say you're not going to order your baby chicks. We're going to go to a local ag market store. What do we need to know when walking in there? Do I need them vaccinated? Do I not? What does pullets mean? Are they really going to be sacks? Why are some breeds not sacks? And then the other thing too is I wanted to mention one of my other favorite breeds is the Jubilee Orpington. You just don't see them very often, right?
Yeah, well, that's one of my favorite feather patterns right now is the spots.
There's Ingrid in the.
Hi, Ingrid.
In the
Hi.
In the.
I have my microphone on now.
You do much better. All right, I got to figure out these sizes and screens. I thought I was getting better at this.
Yeah.
All right, so 12:45. We're not doing too bad, right, Ingrid?
No, you're good. You're good.
Did we? Ingrid called me.
Don't make me giant. Don't make
What?
me giant on the screen.
Oh no, I won't. No, we'll keep you right there. We got
Okay.
YouTube Chicken Police. I love this part of the show because this is where we get to talk about people talking about us, right?
Right.
All right. So did everything sound good? We're talking about.
It did.
There's
and
so
I was
much.
answering questions because there was questions that weren't related to what you were talking about. So I hope I was helping people with their questions. That were just like random questions.
Thank you for doing that, guys. Thank you for out there for listening.
No.
We're up to 45 viewers. We're doing better. And I do want to mention something, and I haven't talked to Kristen about this or you. We are getting people requesting. Hold on, I bumped my screen. We got to make it look good. There. Now we're back to looking professional. They're upset that they can't catch the live show. Now, granted, yes, this is going to get uploaded. People can watch it later. But I love that they love the live element part of it. So if you guys got, suggestions, when would be a good time? I know we weren't a fan doing it on the weekends, but there's a lot of people available to listen on the weekends, or maybe we do it. People are coming home at night. Not sure, but something we got to talk about. YouTube Chicken Police, fire away.
Can I just say something first while you
Always.
guys were talking? I had so many things. I know there was a problem about people mail ordering chicks for a while because the mail was kind of screwed up and they put like a moratorium. They put like a stop on mailing chicks. I don't know if that has resolved. I also want to say that I loved Kristen's starter flock. That was perfect. That was pretty much my starter flock. But the other thing was that check your local. There's people that breed chickens locally too.
Yeah, it's a great point.
So
Right.
if there's I know when I had a broody, and I'm one of those people that are probably the opposite of Kristen. I really think about what I want, and I don't act impulsively with my chickens. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm in the minority. I don't go and get like 27 chickens at Tractor Supply. Like I really. Her, look at her mouth. I don't know.
Is this a cat fight?
Kristen's like Kristen is like
Kristen is
everybody.
mortified right now. Don't she?
No, okay.
No,
Let
I'm
me
going to go to
back up
Tractor
because-
Supply.
Oh, it's getting hot in
Kristen
here.
She loves like her chickens, and if she'll be like, ooh, chicken, she's, and that's how most people are. And I'm the opposite of that. I'm like super thought out. I bought my coop, remember, like months before I got chickens.
The way you should do it.
Right. And
Don't be like Kristen.
so I didn't, no. So I didn't want to get roosters when I had a broody. So I did the live chick thing, is what my point was. So and a lot of people love to see them hatch and stuff, but I slipped live chicks under my broody, and I wanted certain breeds, so I went to a local person that could get me those breeds. And I think that was what my point was, is that you can go and find particular things that you want instead of, just, buying a batch at agri-supply or Tractor Supply or some kind of agricultural store, and just hoping that whoever picked up that chick from the Leghorns put them in the right
Oh.
in the right bin.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
you're right.
People pick up the baby chicks and then they put them in a different bin, and you don't, because they say that the ongoing meme is that like buying chicks from Tractor Supply is like life's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get because they get mixed up in the different bins.
Well,
So that's a great point.
Most stores do a better job than Tractor Supply, though.
Jeez, listen,
Yes.
I don't need a lawsuit from Tractor Supply, but
No,
the thing that I'm a huge fan of is, you have choices, and here's the pros and cons of different choices, and we're just speaking from experience. We have no biased, right? We're not getting paid. We're not getting nothing. We're just chicken people talking to chicken people. And we just want to share with you our experiences. And to that point, that's something I also want to mention is if you're on the fence thinking about getting chickens, and what my goal in life is for those people that are on the fence, but you're hearing the horror stories, you're like, oh, they smell, the roosters are loud, blah, blah. I want to make sure you know the truth because I want you to get into what I feel is one of the best hobbies ever. And, not only are you going to love having your own backyard eggs, you're going to find out how much better they taste. You're going to find out how much healthier they are. And they are so therapeutic, especially when the one goes broody and you're watching the mama hen. I mean, you could hear her talk differently to the baby chicks and you watch her, like, get over here. We got some food, and they're just all following along. It's just, there's so much more to it than I think a lot of people think. So I just want to make sure they share that. So Ingrid, great point.
Yeah.
Check out, I don't know if they're on Facebook Marketplace, but I know like Craigslist was a lot of people specializing in breeds.
Different Facebook groups too. If you check your local Facebook for like chicken groups in your area. I didn't think I wanted a broody, and I loved being able to have those little baby hens. And quite frankly, now I am getting a little bit like Kristen because I'm just like, all right, throw another one in there, throw another one in there. So, so I started out really, trying to be very controlled about it, and it just gets to you because chickens are amazing, and I love them all. And when you're going,
Ingrid, bantams don't count, so
right, that's what I feel
especially
like. So
free ones, yeah.
Exactly. So I have 8 chickens, even though there's 10. But anyway.
All right. We should definitely do another conversation because I would love to talk more about this because this is the first conversation we should have because this is how you know what size coop should we get, and then we start diving in what coop we should get. Now, I see a lot of these comments coming in, guys, out there. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving comments down below. I do want to make sure I address a couple of these real quick, and then we're going to get into chicken police. But I am a huge fan of snakes, so I hope I didn't say anything. I'm never a fan of disposing of a snake. I know that's what most of us do. Even your venomous snakes, they all serve a purpose. It's so important to have the right ecology. But it's about prevention. Don't give snakes a reason to live near where you are. Okay, it's just that simple. So I just saw Natalie. She said all snakes are good snakes. Absolutely, they are. All right, so Ingrid, I think you probably have been doing a good job. Maybe I'll go through. I'm going to try to do that fast thing where I can go through and answer a lot of these comments. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's dive into it.
Okay.
It's already hot in here.
So.
And we can't see Ingrid. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, all right.
They got to see me before. I mean, you can see me if you put me up small. I don't care. Just don't.
I'm screwing it up.
All right. So
I'm getting better at this.
So somebody on the Santa Fe Coop that you did with Bethany, they said 15-minute video title called "Deep Litter Method," and yet most of it is a tour of the damn coop.
Well, I think you're going to have to answer that because you did the video editing.
I don't, and the title, I don't agree with that because we got into the deep litter about 7 minutes in. But it was a tour of a beautiful coop. And that's what people love. So
was our title a little misleading? Is that what that person's saying?
I don't know.
I apologize. What are you going to do? All right. That one doesn't got me riled up that much.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm
just warming you up, Max. You got some big ones coming. I think that's more of commenting about your titling, which is difficult. It's not easy. We have meetings talking about what we should title the videos. Anyways,
my favorite title was Part 3 Custom Metal Bending or something like that.
Matt made me do that video, by the way, because he thought it was fascinating. And apparently he was the only one.
I was like, I would never click on that.
No, who would?
Never. Ever.
Okay. So somebody said something about the all right, so the
Bye-bye. I'll see you guys later.
All right, it's me and you, Kristen. Wait,
No,
Matt,
I think
I'm all
we can
ready
do
to get
it.
you annoyed. I think we did already, but somebody commented on the one in Virginia, the duck dipper coop, the big. Okay, somebody's going to slice their heads on those duck lift doors.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
No. I saw that comment, and I think I'm glad you brought that up. And, again, that is textbook YouTube chicken police. And again, I appreciate you guys out there. Here's the comment to that. And I want everyone to know. And we talk about this with every single coop we sell. The advantages to metal. We already talked about in the beginning, answering about the TSR with Makenzie. Metal is a phenomenal product. It's, in my opinion, a must to keep the hens cool and to make it safer when you're capturing rainwater. Now, what cuts you when it comes to metal isn't always the edge of the metal. It's the burr left on the edge of the metal. Now, I'm not saying if you go running 100 miles an hour head first into the edge of the metal roof, you're going to get a gash. But I can tell you it's not nearly as sharp as you may think. All right. It's when you're cutting it. And if there's a burr left, that thing can be razor sharp. And to that point, we make sure we take the extra measures to trim off the corners. I forget to point that out in the videos. But more importantly, it is something we're always looking at, and we have experimented. We've taken the edge of the metal. We've dipped it in plastic dip over and over. Wouldn't work. The best solution we have found, and we have done that in some situations, where we take, it's called vehicle trim, door trim, I think it's called, something like that. You can get it at any automotive store. And you can apply it to the edges of the metal roofing. Problem is, when it rains, it traps and it falls off. So I can tell you, God, knock on wood, we've never had anyone cut themselves open on that metal roofing. Is it a potential? Absolutely. But it's not nearly as sharp as you think. I have always said the advantage to having metal way outweighs the risks. And we do make sure, especially when we cut metal, we go through it, we file it. It's the worst sound in the world. And we file it the correct way. A lot of times I see people filing metal to get rid of the burrs and they have no clue what they're doing. But anyways, all right, so hopefully that addresses that.
Right. So this is an interesting comment, and I think it's something to talk about too. They said that we do nice work, that it looked too good for their chickens, but they built a nest box with hinges on the floor, so they can pop the latch and the floor will swing down and the shavings fall out. Well, I know there's a lot of things that we could comment on that, but I think we have to address why you shouldn't really. And then there was another question about this as well on YouTube about why you really shouldn't have to clean out your nest box.
Thank you.
Or why your eggs are getting dirty.
Thank you.
That's another question someone had. Like you talked about, you shouldn't have dirty eggs. And if it happens, what does that mean?
Exactly. All right, so let me make sure I hear this correctly. So they built an egg hutch, and the floor drops down like a trapdoor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Why? You don't need that. Here's the thing, folks. Like Ingrid mentioned, and I say this a lot in my videos, if you are cleaning your hen house out, for example, more than once a year, you're working harder than you have to. If you happen to clean your eggs, something in the design is not correct. Now, I'm not saying that we haven't had in our chicken coops where the eggs get dirty. There are things we have to keep in mind to prevent things like that, especially when it comes to the conversation of introducing your chickens into your hen house. So, for example, you introduce them too young, and you have this opening to your egg hutch, but you forget to close it off, the chickens start to learn to go in there. And then if you got them over cramped in there and there's too many and they start fighting, then you get one hiding down there and defecating at night in the egg hutch. So it becomes a mess. So there's a lot to it, not just in the design, but how we introduce the hens into the hen house to make sure the eggs are not getting defecated on. Now, DIY chicken coops, I see this all the time. We used to do it in the beginning. Your egg boxes are underneath your roost bars. And a lot of times that's a cause because that comes from, there's a lot to think about when you're designing a perfect chicken coop. And there is a domino effect. So that's why it's so nice to bump that egg hutch out. Yes, it's more work. Yes, it's more expensive. But that's the spot you're going to go to every single day to go get your eggs. So it's well worth it. Pine shavings? No. Kristen, you talk to me. When it comes to nesting material, and you often talk about this, and I love how you put it, talk to us about the nesting material, what we should be using and why.
I used to use pine shavings, but once I started using hay, it was just beautiful to encourage their instincts. I mean, they make a beautiful nest, and the eggs just get nestled in there, and it's just it ties everything together. It's wonderful.
Right. Encourage their
You
instincts.
can use pine shavings. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, encourage their instincts.
Yeah, I mean, you can use anything. I'll never forget when I had a chicken lay an egg in a nest box I just got done building on the table saw in my old shop in the very beginning days in Durham, North Carolina. And I came back from lunch. I saw her hop out and run out the door. I said, no. Sure enough, there was an egg in there. But encourage their instincts. Always think about what do chickens do in nature. And hay, I love hay. We do have a secret product hopefully coming up soon. I got to get back to New York and see how it's going. Another product we've discovered that chickens absolutely love to use for nesting.
We had another customer that actually sent us a picture where they were building the coop that laid an egg in the nest box as they were building the nest box. It hadn't even been attached yet. It was so that's happened to other people as well.
All right, hold on real quick. I don't want to interrupt you. I got to make sure someone doesn't get forgotten here. If you guys are reading the comments down below here, Mr. Jerry Dubois, yeah, I'm sure you guessed it, and that's me in the middle. My God, Dad, you got to change that profile pic. That is my dad. He is like a little kid. He's getting his baby chicks, I think April. And he can't leave things alone. He went out playing with his auto chicken door, so now he's had to read the manual. We got to get that right. But he says hay or straw. So let's talk about that real quick because a lot of people don't know the difference. And I'm glad, Kristen, you said hay. Why hay and maybe not straw? Not saying you can't use straw, okay? But talk to us real quick a little bit about that.
Straw is hollow, and it can harbor bacteria or other unfriendly, unbeneficial microorganisms.
Right, exactly. I
Mildew,
remember
maybe.
I've had people tell me that's a great place for mites to hide. That is true, but mites can hide pretty much anywhere. I just think hay, because it's flat, it's a little bit softer. It just makes a great nesting material. Can you get away with straw? Absolutely. But so when we say hay, we mean it. We're not talking about straw. So my dad just mentioned that. I got to make sure I acknowledge that. So good question, Dad. I know he's you don't want to make the mistake that I see so many people make. And we almost should have put this on the bale of hemp. Don't use this in your nesting material. Use this for your bedding material inside your hen house. It's not a good idea to use the industrial hemp, this stuff right here. Okay, and I just want to point that out. Look how nice and clean and beautiful that stuff is. Don't use that in your nest box. It makes a mess. Go ahead.
Are you ready for me again?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
103. All right, so we're past our hour. Do we have any more comments? Any more things that we can?
The only thing somebody had said was that like the coop that we did or you guys did in Calistoga, they said that's for the humans, not for the that's for the damn humans, not for the chickens.
And that reminds me yesterday. Wait, what?
That's what I said. I said, why can't it be for both?
Yeah.
Exactly. That was my reply.
Yeah, we need to have an official answer for the people that do say, "Boy, it's gonna take 20 years before you get your money back in your eggs and this and that." And I hate that people look at it that way. All right, it's not just about getting eggs and what's your ROI. And trust me, I live ROI owning a business. Okay, you can't put a price tag on your healthcare. All right. We really need to start talking about what we're eating, where it's coming from, and then when you take the world of chickens, all right, out of everything when it comes to farming and what's very doable for anyone that's homesteading to your backyard, when you start off with chickens and you really analyze every part of it, there are so many benefits. So how can you put a price tag on that?
They're extremely therapeutic.
Yes.
It's hard for me to even do work sometimes. I just want to go out and hang out with my chickens.
That is so true. That is so true.
It brings us outdoors.
It really does, and I just wanted to kind of go over some comments real quick.
Yeah.
Ingrid, stay with us.
Okay.
I'm going to go up the ladder here real quick. So Mary says so much.
The background.
What's that? Oh yeah, so we're all done with chicken. Please, I can do the comments now. Your green screen's probably going to pop. Oh no, I crushed it.
Oh, you
yes.
did it.
Woo! I got it. All right. Can you guys see this back here? All right. So we have right here. It's so much more than eggs. Yeah, you are correct. So much more than eggs. And this is almost kind of become our life's mission is, I'm in the business to sell chicken coops, but there's a reason why we got into this in the first place. And God knows I have learned so much more that is a huge benefit, especially when I became a father. And knowing how chickens changed my life when I was a kid. I was a horrible student, hated school. And when I had the worst teacher in the world, speaking of teacher, before we leave, make sure, Ingrid, I didn't tell you the great news. Make sure I let everyone know, hopefully next week. There's just so much great stuff about chickens and eggs. I picked up some material from Amazon. It's like all right, let me read it down here. Fiber straw on a piece of paper attached to a piece of paper, and all I do is pull the paper off, stick it in the nest box, and from nest. Yeah, and they absolutely love it.
That's the bedding mats.
Absolutely, and we're actually looking into selling our own nesting mats. We're perfecting a couple things where it's out of hemp. Get that out there. All right, and then Makenzie, she does say this. Hay is for eating. Straw is for hay is for heating, straw is for eating. That's what my grandpa always told me. How long can the roost bar be before the weight of the chickens become a problem? I like that question. It all depends on the species of lumber you're using, okay? The direction of the roost bar that you put it in, but I can tell you for ours, because one, we're using out of Doug fir, which is a very strong wood, and the average hen, if we stick with standard too, we'll throw in some large breed, what would you say, 10, 12 pounds? They can get kind of heavy. No, not that heavy. Bigger?
No, that's heavy. No, they're usually like 6 pounds, 8 pounds.
Yeah, when you dress them. My God, I got the turkeys that
we're talking hens.
Yeah. I don't know. I would almost want to say let's put them on a scale. I think you'd be surprised they're heavier than that. But to answer the question, wood also is very flexible. So I would say you'd be surprised how well you can load it up. So we gotta get back to that. All right. So you don't use hemp in the egg hutches ? That is correct. Can you? Yes, you don't. The reason is the chickens are gonna go crazy. They're gonna constantly try to rebuild it, and it's just gonna collapse. And then with our egg hutches, which I love, I think every egg hutch should be this way. You don't want the roof to lift up. You're gonna have a drop down door. Well, one of the disadvantages to that drop down door is you do have a part where it has to be cleared for that door to shut completely. And if those chickens are constantly kicking it out, it's gonna drive you nuts. Aspen shavings for nest box has been working well for me. Yeah, not saying it won't. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just there's pros and cons to everything. Randy Dake says, I have one. You want to come say hi?
I don't have any internet.
Oh, I don't care if you don't have any internet right now.
I only have 4 bars.
Okay, go talk to your mother. Okay, say hi, everyone.
Hi.
This is my Princess Jetta. Okay, thank you. Okay. I have one chicken that refuses to sleep on the roost bar and sleeps in one box.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, it really.
I actually have that with the little Banty does that, but I just let her because she's so tiny.
So why would that happen? What are some reasons that would happen?
I think it's there's a lot of drama at night, and people don't realize this. There is a lot of drama. I mean, I got 12 feet of roost bar space, but there is so much drama. They're getting kicked out. A lot of times my French copper Moran gets kicked out, and I'll find her in a nest box, and I push her back out of the nest box and make her jump up. When the tiny bantam does it, sometimes I'll put her back up there on the roost bar, but sometimes it's just that she's so tiny, I don't even care. I'm just like, all right, fine. She's the size of a pigeon.
So we had a customer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I don't know if she came up with it or not, but I'll never forget when she told us her solution to this. She hung curtains inside the hen house. So there was a divider like a privacy divider you would see in a hospital room, and that did the trick. Let's try it out. Okay, moving on here. We use artificial turf in our nest boxes. My husband calls it grasscat. They seem to love it, and you can just hose it off. It's perfect. Okay, so yeah, great, another option. And why not experiment? I mean, they're really, I don't know. You can pretty much use anything. How high should my yard fence be in order to keep my hens in the yard when free ranging? Great question. What would you say to that, Kristen?
It's not the height that's the most important. It's the profile.
Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean it's the profile?
Chickens will fly up and land on something. And so if you have a fence that has a flat board on top, sometimes they're built that way because it looks nice. That's going to encourage them to fly up and land. Whereas if you have a Gothic post picket fence, that's going to be, you can have a shorter fence because the top of that is not friendly for them to go up and land on. And they typically don't have sustained flight to fly over a fence. Yes, they can, but more importantly than the height of the fence, I believe, is what the top of the fence looks like.
Yeah, and I can see that. I often tell people, if you have a 4-foot fence and you have hens that have their flight feathers, they're going to get over it. If you clip their wings, you can solve that problem. A 6-foot fence, most of your larger breeds, I think, are going to have trouble. We're feeding them well. They're fat and happy. But I've had a couple, I want to say it was my Japanese blacktail bantam. She would get up in the trusses in one of my barns. And I'm like, how in the world does she get up there? But that's a great point. They got a good landing surface. So something definitely to think about. And I would say if you're having difficulty keeping your chickens in a fenced-in area, I know some people disagree with me, but clipping their feathers can be a great solution. The disadvantage is daytime predators like hawks, they may have a harder time getting away from the hawks. Okay, so grass hay is awesome for nesting material. I fluff the hay in their nest box each morning and night. Yeah, so it's hay. I use straw. Eggs are clean. The girls like it. All right, so I think we addressed this. Is Matt getting ducks? Inquiring minds want to know. Me, Matt? I can't keep ducks for the life of me. They always leave. But we do have a lot of customers with ducks and duck dippers. And look what came. It came the next day. If you guys catch our show last week, we had, look at that green screen effects there. This is a great book. I want to say I am so jealous. It is my life's mission. And I don't like to read, I'll be honest with you. But I have a reason because of my visual snow. However, I want to write a book on chicken coop building. What do we think? Ingrid, does that sound like a great idea?
I think that would be a fantastic idea. All
right, we should do that one day. I've always told Kristen, I was like, we should do that. And then I know she's the grammar person that's always correcting me. Anyways, all right, so it's 112. We're gonna cut this off, guys. Thank you so much. I do want to make a couple of quick announcements. And I did tell Kristen a little bit, but Ingrid, I don't know if I told you. I am gonna have a guest speaker on soon. We're going to try to do it live. His schedule's kind of tight. He is the smartest man I have ever met. And if my father's watching right now, he's like, oh, well, I didn't agree to go on the show. I had the privilege of having one of the best teachers, hands down. And I think we all can look back. There's always that one teacher in our life. And I can tell you now at 42 years old, I love that we're going to have the ability to bring him on and talk to him. And I can tell you, again, I was not the greatest student. I was horrible. I was a horrible student. This is a guy I could listen to all day, hang on every single word. The man is so smart. He was my science teacher. He teaches all kinds of different subjects, all the way from, it was 8th grade all the way into college. I know he taught astrology in college, so she purposely changed her major just to go have him as a teacher. We're going to have him on. And I know that may not make sense right now, but here's what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to have this gentleman on that is just a wealth of knowledge. It is just incredible the things this man knows. And I believe what he's saying, but, I want to do some more investigating. We're going to talk about things that I'm learning more about. Number one, I'm a huge fan of collecting rainwater, all right, and using that for your chickens. But I had people out there saying, oh my God, that's so toxic because it's collecting the pollutants in the water, or it's collecting the pollutants in the air, and then that's getting into your water. But I've also learned what's in our city water. Which one's worse, which one's better. So we're going to talk about those things. Also, is PVC really that bad? We make sure we're using PVC for our water bars that are considered food safe. But is that really that bad? All right, Kristen's looking out the window. I think she's probably got to go. I got to go. So hopefully we're going to have him on. I promise it's going to be a huge treat. I want to get into the scientific side of things. There's another one, this whole discussion over what's safe, again, with water. Is lead-free brass safe for using with water? Because I come to find out it's not 100% lead free. The EPA has their own definition of lead free. So that's what's going to be coming up here very soon. I'm hoping to do it live next Friday, or it might have to be a show that we do recorded and then upload it at this hour. So Ingrid, what do you think about that idea?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think it's necessary. I have some guests that I want to get on too as well. So
yeah,
we'll discuss.
Just let us know. I know there's that one lady that built a chicken coop and she wishes she would have just bought it from us, and yeah, there's a sales pitch to that, but I want people to realize it's expensive, especially now that wood costs more than metal.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways. All right, guys. Kristen, thank you so much. I think we got to do another.
It was so fun.
Yeah, always. I think we got to do another chicken chat
and
where
more
we talk
field trips.
Yeah, so we're going to be, okay, so I'm in Wilmington right now. You're up in Raleigh. We leave in a couple days. We're going to be finishing up this custom coop here, and then we're going to be up in Raleigh and hopefully have a very good stream back together doing the show. Finally get everything dialed in. It's been crazy living on the road here, but hopefully we'll make it a little bit better. All right, Ingrid, thank you so much for your time. Makenzie, if you're still listening, thank you. And everyone out there, thank you so much for your questions, your comments. And please, if you're not already following us on Instagram, I don't know why I'm hell-bent on keep getting those followers up. And if you're not already subscribing to us on the Carolina Coops, right? I think it's called now on YouTube. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All that good stuff. All that fun social media stuff. I don't really care about the Facebook anymore. Oh, I think Kristen just left. I think she had a visitor show up. So goodbye, Kristen. Anyways.
Bye, Kristen. I love Kristen. I want people to think otherwise. You know that, right?
Yeah. She takes her chickens personally. I tell you that. Boy, you ruffled her feathers.
I know. She's like chicken people. She's what everyone does. They see chicks and she's the typical chicken person.
Yeah.
But she has way more knowledge.
Yeah.
Than any of us.
And I love how she keeps it very simple, and she comes with so much experience. She actually does. I mean, I think she's hatching baby chicks year round. It is just nuts. And to see her passion, she loves to help set people up with chickens. And that's how this kind of worked out now. I mean, we're going on 13 years working together, and that's what she loves to do is help people get set up. And that's why she came to us, because she said, you guys have by far the best chicken coops out there. I want to promote them. But anyways, all right, so goodbye, Kristen. Didn't know she was going to leave like that. Ingrid, thank you so much for your help. And yeah, guys,
thank you.
We'll see you guys next week, Friday at noon. Have a great weekend.